tenants of flats in Msobomvu in Butterworth in the Eastern Cape have been evicted by the Mnquma Local Municipality. The flats were previously owned by the then Transkei government. The municipality says it wants to renovate the flats and generate income from rentals, but the evicted tenants say they were never consulted about the eviction. The municipality says it has no alternative accommodation for the evicted tenants. A contingent of law enforcement agencies converged on the dilapidated flats, forcing their way into the units occupied by the tenants. Household items, including bedding, electrical appliances and clothing, were removed from the flats. Tenants say they are shocked about the forced removal and that they were expecting the municipality to engage with them on the issue of the outstanding rent. The Mnquma Local Municipality says the eviction comes after numerous attempts to resolve the illegal occupation of municipal properties. More than 400 flats at the Msobomvu and Cuba are occupied by tenants. Most of these flats were inherited from the former Transkei government. They've become run down and pose a health hazard to the residents. The municipality says it will continue to serve eviction orders on all non-cooperating tenants. All right, continuing with the conversation on the evictions, we're now joined by Sandiso Fusa, tenant spokesperson. Good evening, Sandiso. The municipality maintains that here there have been engagements with tenants, on numerous occasions, but it seems tenants were sticking by the fact that they will not pay rent, and some of them indicating that the reason they won't pay is because the buildings are dilapidated, they need to be renovated. Just give us your version of what exactly has happened here.
Good evening to you and good evening to the listeners. Thank you for the platform and the opportunity for allowing us to actually state our voice. Well, to answer your question in the simplest of formats, the only thing that we had asked from the municipality is proper engagement. Post-apartheid regime, when these apartments were left, the municipality did not come to the party, right? What we simply asked, if they are the actual landlords, the simplest of things that we're asking for is title deeds. The title deed that shows that they are the actual owners of these properties. Then we can properly engage, right? And then there came an issue of illicit agreements. We said most of us, we fall under the cluster of indigent people, right? Then how about that we get subsidized or we get built RDP houses if they then so claim to own these properties, right? Now, the failure occurred when the municipality did not want to actually follow the structures of engagement, because we had done all the necessary precautions when it comes to engaging with relevant stakeholders of these properties. It's not like we are fighting or we are resisting. It's not even an issue of resist. It is just an issue of the authenticity from the party that claims to own the properties, right? Because what we know for a goddamn given fact is the fact that this land that we have inhabited is the king that actually owns this land. The landlord of this land is a king from Mutendane Ekpocha, right? That's what we rightfully know. So if they then claim to be rightful owners of the land, they then should produce the rightful documentation that so claims to own these properties. Then we can take it from there.
But the courts have granted them those eviction orders. So in essence, it means they have proved ownership in court. But beyond that, if we set aside that question or conversation around ownership and talk about whether these flats are actually habitable, when speaking to a number of the tenants there, they've also indicated that the buildings are dilapidated. The municipality says, in fact, they are a health hazard. So they are a danger to most of you there. And it seems that you are in agreement. And what you wanted was for them to renovate. So if at least you're in agreement that they're not habitable, would it not make sense then that the renovations would take place with you having been moved from those flats? Okay,
then if we are then evicted from these flats based on what you just said, man, and then what about the national rights to adequate housing? What about the national rights?
No, of course you have a right to adequate housing, most certainly. But I'm just saying, how would you go about...
We were never actually engaged with the proper communications with regarding to the courts. We were somewhat the last time we were issued summons, it was 2023 on the 8th of November, right? Even the sheriff failed to produce the relevant documentation of eviction.
Yeah. And we'll pose some of those questions to them.
We asked the MM for engagements. They only came here with promises, but they never actually came to the party when we wanted to actually engage till today. Till this day, when we asked the MM to come and actually explain, we asked them to explain everything vividly for us. Because remember, we have people who have only been living in these apartments. For example, I'm talking about me. I was born and raised in these apartments.
Sure.
So if I then get evicted, then where am I supposed to go?
And that is the question that we're going to pose to the municipality, because in as much as an ordinary landlord would not have to provide alternative accommodation, but when it comes to municipalities, to government, you do find the courts would order that you need to ensure there is alternative accommodation for those that you're evicting. So these will be the questions that we pose to the spokesperson, Loyiso, in just a bit when we continue this conversation. But at the moment, having seen those visuals that there were individuals that were being evicted, where have they gone to?
That's a good question. That's a good question, because as we speak, we still have people who are they're outside the apartments. Most of them.
Sure.
Most of them homeless. We have children. We have old grannies. We have got a lot of. Yes, they're outside. The last time I checked, they were outside.
No, it's honestly very worrying, but as committed, we will be speaking to the spokesperson of the municipality in just a bit. Thank you very much. That was the Sandiso Fusa speaking to us, who is a representative of the tenants.